Hello world, welcome back. So this is the second part of Relay AI. In the previous episode, I showed you how you can use Relay AI to inject essentially any model from any provider into Cloud Code, Cloud Cowork, and Cloud Code Desktop. And today we're going to be focusing on Codex. So Codex is the offering from OpenAI. Pretty good. Actually, it's pretty excellent agent harness. I would say the app, in my opinion, is better than the CLI. I don't use the CLI too much. I found it je ne sais quoi, not very exciting or not as good as the app. That's my opinion, but you may have different. Doesn't matter. My solution supports both. So without further ado, let's jump in and show you what we're going to be doing today. So this is Relay AI, and quickly how to install it. I'm not going to install it today. I'm going to upgrade. So in order to install it, all you need to have is NPM on your system. So make sure you have it, and you just copy this and install it in the terminal of your operating system. And as mentioned before, it should work on Windows, Linux, and Mac. And today I'm going to do upgrade because I already have, let's go into my terminal. So I'm just going to run it on my system, and you can do also install. It will do the same thing. And if I'll check the version 0.3.4. So as usual, you can just run Relay AI to see the full instructions of what available for you to use. Let's start with just checking out my providers. I'm going to check the status of my providers. So I have several providers. I have Anthropic, I have DeepSeek, Google, Grok, Mistral, NVIDIA, OpenAI, and OpenAI is coming from ChatGPT, which means this is an OAuth, not the API, so you can do that as well. I have my Zen OpenCode providers. I have OpenRouter with all the models available. And you can see I have also XAI Grok, which means this is coming again from my OAuth, which is my subscription with XAI. And if you're not familiar with Grok or XAI, you can use your x.com subscription if you're on Premium or Premium Plus to use Grok for your coding tools. And you can integrate it into Relay AI and use it as a model. And you can also refresh all models. Let's do that right now to see which models we get, because they always change, as you know, on the providers. They release new ones. So in order to get the latest one, you can see that's the models. And then, of course, you can also build your favorite models, which will be used in many tools to switch between them. So right now, this one is gone because it was using my OpenAI API key. I removed it, removed this one, and I have all the models available over here. And let's add another model. Let's add a Grok. So I'm going to add a model. I can do search, but I'll do search. I'll just do Grok. And you can see I have Grok from different providers. And I will select the Grok build from Super Grok, and I will add also Grok. You can add, as mentioned, up to 20 models into your favorite, and you can switch between them, depends on the tool that you're using. And by the way, another thing is kind of a quality of life. If you go into a provider, for example, Google, you can select multiple providers with this button, and it will allow you to add them. For example, I have 3.5, and I can also add, let's use Gemini 3.1 Pro preview, which has been in preview, I think, forever. Probably until 3.5 will be released at some point, which is quite funny with Google. So let's start using this tool with Codex. Let's start with the CLI. So in order to launch Relay AI with your Codex, so again, let me show you quickly Codex. This is the regular Codex, very close to hit my quota with OpenAI. That's not a concern anymore because I can use any model from any provider with Codex now. So I'm not concerned when I see these messages or even when I hit my limits. So let's just make sure it works, and I'll say, hey, and I'm using way too many tokens just to say, hey, with GPT 5.5, hi. Yeah, it says even, you see that? That's why I like Codex. They really have the small things that really makes it different. And I'm gonna click exit. So let's go and try this with Relay AI. So the way to do it is just to type Relay AI and type Codex. And now I'm being presented. So I can launch this with any provider, specific provider, or I could just launch it with the catalog. And it will say, do you want to launch it with DeepSeek V4 Pro? Why not? I'll say yes. And now it's asking me to update. Let's skip this. And now I have DeepSeek V4 Pro available for me. Let's see if it works. And again, I'll just ask it my typical question. Can you check how many notebook LMs I have? So this is a question that I like to ask. Actually, I'm doing it a lot during the testing because for one, it requires it to read a skill, and that makes it can have access to the local system. And two, it will use the CLI, my Notebook LM CLI, that allows it to communicate programmatically with Notebook LM. So if you haven't tested out my tool, go check it out. I just crossed 5,000 stars on GitHub. So thank you very much for everyone who started and contributed. You can see it works. So this is DeepSeek V Pro coming from my OpenCode Go subscription. And the switching is done with this /model. You can select anyone, and let's see, just for the fun of it, how Google Gemini 3.5 Flash, and you can see some of them I was able to expose the reasoning level controls. So it's not for every model. I'm still working on adding support, but as you can imagine, there are a lot of models out there with different reasoning support from different providers. Some expose them, some don't, but it's going to be an ongoing effort to make sure everything is exposed and provide seamless experience. So I'm just going to do medium and say, can you tell me how many pro queries I've done with my Perplexity subscription? So this is another tool's test to see if you communicate. Again, there is a Perplexity MCP, which is another tool that I've released. Go check it out. And it can tell me, here's what you've used, and give me all the information. And you can see that I switch between two models, from DeepSeek Pro to Gemini 3.5 Flash. And let's just, for the fun of it, let's switch one more time. And I will switch to Haiku. And Haiku, I'll just use it again. And just to make sure that we're preserving the conversation throughout, I will ask it, what was the first question I asked you in this session? As you've probably seen in my previous video, this is how I can confirm and say, can you check how many notebooks LM I have? And if I'll scroll into the beginning, and that was the question I posted. So as you can see, everything works seamlessly. I tried to make this as transparent as possible. Trust me, it was not easy to do all this manipulation. OpenAI is, it's not making it very easy. Google even harder, because I'm working on adding support for Google Anti-Gravity. And oh my God, it took me 2 days of reverse engineering their setup. I'm still testing it because it's very flaky, so I'm trying to make it more robust before I add it into the next release. But it will be awesome, I promise you. So that was Codex CLI. Let's exit this and move into the main event, the Codex app running on my system. This is my environment right now. It's running. If I'll go into my settings, one of the coolest thing with Codex is they're really adding a lot of cool features. One of them, just like Cloud Code Desktop, it allows you to do remote session. So I have installed a couple of plugins to control my computer, to control my browser, and also allow me to control it remotely from my phone if I need to. But can you do it with other models that OpenAI? I don't know. Let's see. Before we do that, let's just make sure that basic model injection work. I'm just going to go here, and the way to do that is Codex App. Now, let's launch Codex App. And by the way, my Codex is still running in the background, and I'll show you what happens. And this time, I'll do the same thing. I will do the catalog. I'll launch the catalog. It will ask me the same question. This is my default model in my favorites. So I will say yes. And it will say it noticed that my codex is running right now, right? So it was still running. It's using my regular subscription, and I want to restart it in order to be using it with Relay AI and all my favorite models. So now it was starting it. And just one thing, I want to jump back into the window. So what it says keep the window term open, right? Don't close this. It has to run in the background because we monitor. And once you end the session with Control C, we're also going to restore your configuration file. In order for us to work with injecting models, we have to modify this file, but we always keep an eye on it. And if for some reason everything crashed and it didn't restore, you can run this command to restore the config and use Codex. But it should do it automatically for you, so you don't need to worry. This is more of precaution. So going back into the Codex. So let's see what I got. So usually it will load with this custom model. You may need to change this to, I'm still trying to fix this. It's been a problem that came up in and out, but I will try to really force it at some point to load with the selected model. And for example, and let me just go into this repo over here and I'll start a new conversation. And I can ask it, can you make sure this repo is fully synced with main, with remote, just to be specific, because I'm on main. And now it will check if this repo is synced with my GitHub. And if not, it will do git pull to download all the latest code from this repo to this local directory. And what it says, no commitment push, clean, nothing to stage. And the last commit, doc, yes, I did a minor change to the doc. Perfect. Everything looks good. Now let's try to switch to a different model, because basically the fact that he was able to do that means that it's really working well. And let me go, and you can see for DeepSeek Pro, we have the reasoning control, and I will switch now to GLM 5.2, which from my experience, it's been a really good model. And you're probably noticing that there is no reasoning control. And the reason is that we are using it through my OpenCode subscription. And for some reason, OpenCode does not expose the reasoning control when they do it API. I will probably add based on how Z.AI are doing it, but just something that I'm aware if you notice that as well. So right now, not all models I mentioned have full reasoning controls, but slowly I will add them. So now let's start moving here with GLM5. And I can ask it, can you explain how the Gemini CLI support works in this tool and how do I switch models? So now it's going to review the code, try to understand, probably read some docs, and will provide me. And you can see GLM 5.2 is working right now. It's doing its thing. And this is coming from my OpenCode subscription. So if you want to to be sure, if I quickly switch into my OpenCode and log in and go into usage, you'll see there will be a couple of usage today. Today is 24th, and it's already logged the GLM 5.2, already paying 15. And you can see I was testing GLM heavily, using it a lot to do some coding. And I reached $24 that day with Go. Back into Codex. So you can see it read, give you the information. I'm not going to ruin the fun because I want to show you something else. We talked about remote, right? Let's see if it works. I'm still using foreign models or injected models from Relay AI. But can I use my phone and enjoy the same remote capabilities I can do with GPT 5.5 and the other OpenAI models with Codex? Let's see. Let me bring my phone. I'm going to be using my phone, so pardon me for looking into my phone. I want to show you everything here. So I'm in my ChatGPT app on my Android, right? So the same thing I'm going to do. You're going to see a mirror over here. So I'm going to go into remote. So you can see all the computers that are currently connected, and you can see it's green. So it means I'm connected. So let's start a new chat. And you can see on the bottom, I have the models. I can select the same models that I showed you earlier. So let's select Gemini Flash. And the reason I'm selecting Gemini Flash is that today I published a story on my channel. Was Google released updated Gemini 3.5 Flash with enhanced computer use. And you can see more detail if you go into this blog where they talk about how they're doing it and the benchmark and all the information. So that would be a good opportunity to see if Gemini Flash indeed good in computer use. So what I'm going to try to do right now, I'm going to ask it to do something on the computer, for example, remote. So I'm on my phone, going back. Let me launch tool again. And I will try, and I'll do the computer use, select that, and I can ask it, can you load and play my favorite songs from Spotify? Okay, let's see. I have not tested it, so this is live. If it's not gonna work, probably gonna edit it out. But if it will, awesome, test completed. You can see Gemini, this is Gemini responding, by the way, as you can see on the bottom. Okay, I don't know if you can hear it. It did it. Took a while, I had to figure it out. Let me pause the music, just 1 second. So this is what I wanted to show you. It's just a glimpse of what you can do with it. There is a lot more. I could do browser use. I could ask it to open a browser and do something. And of course, I could start and resume any session from this environment, from my programming, using my phone on the go and using models that some of them could be free. Because if, for example, I go back and let me just show you how I shut it down. Control C, it's open. Do you want to close it? Yes, close and restore files. If I'll go into my favorites and if I'll add a model and just do a search, but if I'll do free, you'll see that I got a lot of free. A lot of them are coming from OpenRouter. And just remember, when you're using free models, don't expect, feel like unlimited, fast, amazing. It's good, not for, I would say, heavy coding sessions, but if you want to try a model, check it out. If it's worth paying for, this is great, either from OpenCode or NVIDIA NIM, even from Zen. Zen, usually they rotate. The most consistent one is Big Pickle, which is not listed here, but there are tons of free models that you can use with any of the supported tools with Relay AI. So you don't have to have subscription. You don't have to pay anybody technically if you decide to go with free models. And as mentioned, if you have a good computer and you can run Ollama, you can definitely connect Relay AI, and I'll just go into providers again. My providers, and I will select, for example, add provider and I'll search and type Ollama. I'll do Ollama. I'll use my local system. I don't have any special models here, but I'll do test. Any key will work here. And you can see I have Ollama with models. So if I want to see the model, let's go and see what we have in Ollama. So if I'll do Codex. Let's do Codex App just for the fun of it. And I'll select Ollama. And you can see I have several models. Some of them are local, some of them cloud. And if I'll try to use this one, and here's my Gamma, whatever you want to call it, available. Probably it's going to choke my system and I'm recording it, so I should not probably, you know what, let's just take a chance and I can send a request. And now, technically, if you really want unlimited free models, run them locally. Provides you unlimited, you don't have to pay per token, and of course privacy. However, the challenge is for a good, decent model like Gemma 4, you need really, really strong and beefy hardware. This is a MacBook Air with 16 gigs of RAM, M4, not the best, not crazy. So I'm probably gonna have to wait a lot, and you can see my RAM is probably going insane. And here's my Llama server consuming almost all available memory. and it will kill my Camtasia, which I'm used for recording. So this is what I wanted to show you. I hope you're gonna like it. I hope you're gonna use it. And if you like this video and you found it useful, please like, subscribe, share with others. And if you're on GitHub, like the project, share it with others, because sharing is scary. And I will see you in my next video, which will dive into the server gateway capabilities of Relay AI. And I'll show you, hopefully, what I did with Gemini and Google Anti-Gravity by the time I record the next video. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.
AI spotlight illuminating the future of AI.